Hello and welcome to this week's Bible in the News. The news this week has been dominated by the tariffs unveiled by U.S President Donald Trump. The BBC economics editor branded it the biggest change in global trade in 100 years. Since being sworn in for his second term, Donald Trump has been characteristically unpredictable with his trade policy. Tariffs on Canada and Mexico were announced first, then retracted just before coming into force. Rhetoric on tariffs have at sometimes been suggested that Trump believed that they could completely replace income tax, while at other times he has been much less extreme. Donald Trump called April 2nd Liberation Day as he slapped tariffs on countries all around the world, which came into effect on April the 5th. The whole world is in a state of shock, some beginning to believe that this is the start of a new normal, while others still believe that this is nothing more than a negotiating play by the man who prides himself in writing the book, The Art of the Deal. It is possible that neither of these theories are true, and in fact the strategy is more of a blend of these two extremes. The administration might make a number of deals with some favoured countries, while still leaving some other nations out. Now, of course, the Bible does not give us an answer on these kind of questions, but it does actually give us a number of details about trade in the time just before the return of the Lord Jesus Christ. Firstly, we read in Ezekiel 38, we're told in verse 13 that Tarshish, which we believed to be Britain, speaks as merchants with a block of nations, including Sheba and Dedan, and the young lion powers, which we believe to be the political descendants of Britain. Interestingly, only a few weeks ago there were reports that King Charles was planning to invite the United States to become an associate member of the Commonwealth during Trump's state visit later this year. Trump commented on these reports on his social media platform Truth. He said, "I love King Charles. Sounds good to me," implying that he might accept such an offer. In Revelation 12, verses 15 to 18, we learn of a different trading bloc, which is the power symbolized by the beast in Revelation, predominantly the European continental powers that are now unified in the EU. In verse 17, we are told that those who did not have the mark, those who are not part of that bloc, none of them, no man, would be able to buy or sell. In Revelation 18, we have prophecies about the lamentation of the traders with that bloc, or of that bloc, listing all the various ware that they would have traded with that Babylonian system. In verse 11 of Revelation 18, "And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odours, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all these things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city, that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company in ships, and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off." And here we have a vision of the picture of this system being destroyed in the future by the work of the Lord Jesus Christ, and how the nations of the world, those who have been trading with this bloc, will weep for the loss of those riches. And so while we do not know what will come from the news of the last week, what we do know is that at the time of the end, world trade will be much more divided than it is now. There will be this European trading bloc made up from the kings of the earth in Revelation 18 verse 9, which trade with it. But there will also be another bloc, a Commonwealth trading bloc, made up of Britain with her political offspring nations. Many are in the Commonwealth today, along with Sheba and Dedan, the nations in the Arabian Gulf. When the Gogian forces descend upon the mountains of Israel, and at that time the counterbloc, Tarshish with her allies, will criticize the attack, but will be too weak to prevent it. This has been Paul Barnes joining you for this week's Bible in the News. Join us again next week for another edition of Bible in the News.